Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena and back to a bittersweet video, I guess, because this is going to be the final video where we do Historic Brawl in a 60 card format, because they have actually announced that a 100 card Brawl is coming back and it's probably permanent, although there's this veiled threat of it will go away if we don't play it. But if we play it, it'll stay around permanently, which is pretty sweet. But that just means that the future of Historic Brawl is in a 100 card format. That being said, the only way I can record it right now is in 60 card form, because they actually haven't added an option for 100 card Brawl in the deck builder. So today we're going to be showcasing a highlight from the most recent Twitch stream where we did some viewer challenge decks. It's been a while since we actually produced some Historic Brawl content, so I thought I'd get some out today, especially with the news that it would be coming back in a more permanent fixture. And it will be for the channel as well. For those who do enjoy Brawl, it will definitely take a permanent slot on the channel for sure. Probably still play a little bit of Standard Brawl, but mostly we're probably going to focus on Historic Brawl as well. But without further ado, let's continue with the actual deck itself. So, played 3 decks for the night. Most of them were meme decks, and this one's probably no exception in the grand scheme of things. It had mixed results, but it was also really, really fun to play. And that's why we're going to be showcasing on the channel today. So we're going to be playing with Minsc, Beloved Ranger. Naya 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. You can pay X, and then until the end of the turn, target creature you control has base power and toughness XX and becomes a giant in addition to its other types, but you can only do it at sorcery speed, so it's a very bad combat trick, essentially. So originally when I built this deck, I actually wanted to do like a legendary tribal kind of deck, and it was a lot more mid-rangey. And then as I started building it, I actually started gravitating towards the multicolors matter kind of style of deck. So you'll notice that it's very gold over here. We've got things like Glass of the Guild Pact, which gives multicolored creatures +1/+1, as well as like Hero of Precinct 1 that says whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 human creature token. We have Tome of the Guild Pact that says multicolored spells, when you cast them you draw a card, and then it's a really bad mana rock after that. And then Rien, Angel of Rebirth, which in the more mid-rangey build, you'll have seen me play Rien in the past. It's probably still the best commander for this archetype, but I wanted to give Minsc a little bit of love, as well as obviously Boo the hamster. But usually you would probably want to go with Rien because it plays straight into that archetype of other multicolored creatures you control get +1/+0, and whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, you return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step, which means Rien's really good against like board wipe tribal, as long as it's a destroy based board wipe like Wrath of God. But I still managed to keep a little bit of the legendary tribal side of things in here. So we do have like our early 1-drops like Reese the Redeemed and Isamaru Hound of Konda. And we also have Moxamber as well, which only triggers off of the legendary creatures and planeswalkers that you control. So in order to use this effectively, I have to keep a lot of legendary creatures. And turns out it's not that hard to find legendary gold creatures in this deck. We do have Squee the Immortal in here. He ended up being quite effective in the end. Otherwise, I generally added him as a meme. But if you go for a 100 card variant, I'm sure he'll find a place in here all the same. Again, he's kind of like a bit of a leftover hangover from the legendary tribal style of the deck that I originally went with. I couldn't bring myself to cut him, to be honest. So my Immortal Son gets to remain in here. But yeah, it's legendary tribal with kind of a multicolored matter style, more so on the multicolored side, so lots of multicolored removal spells and things like that. This deck did generally underperform, but as I said, it was really fun to play, so I'm going to show you guys a lot of the highlights from the stream where we did play this, and show you the reason why I found it so fun anyway. So if you do enjoy the content and you want to see more Historic Brawl like this, maybe not exactly like this because 60 card is dead and long live 100 card I suppose, but if you want to see some more Historic Brawl, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below what you're going to be playing in the 100 card Brawl event that's coming up soon, and yeah, without further ado, let's get to the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, Bam. He's on his favourite deck. See if he has enough time to actually win. Tachiova does come with some added life gain attached to it, and I mean, this has my Immortal Sun in it, but it really needed a white source, I think, or a shock land that produces white in order for me to want to keep this. Otherwise, it'd have been pretty sweet. But yeah, gonna have to throw that one back. And now this is what I'm talking about. Keep. Alright, let's go with Temple Garden tap, pass the turn. Best opening hand ever. Oh, I do love gold tribal decks. That's so cool. Ancient Ziggurat. Not many Brawl decks I've ever built have included that. By not many, I mean this is the first. So let's go with Shana, Sisei's Legacy. +1/+1 for each creature you control, and can't be the target of abilities your opponents control. Our opponent, Bam, is playing Tachiova Benthic Druid. It's a Simic Landfall deck. 5 mana 3/3. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So they're going to want to ramp to that as much as possible. I'm kind of exactly into this trade, even though I think I'm going to get blown out by a pump spell. I don't know if Bam actually plays pump spells, but we'll see. Squeal come back. He likes to, you know, be in all zones at all times. Ah, oh, heroic intervention. Alright, fine. That's not too bad. So let's get this on red, and then outside of the Ziggurat, we've got all colours of mana now. From there, could play Minsc. Kind of like the idea of going Rada, though, because we can take lands off the top. We can't really afford to miss land drops in that sense and draw too many lands. Who was that? Maujio? I don't know how to pronounce that one, but thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. It could be good. The downside is that kind of would have preferred my 2-drop, I think, but taking Juicy Llanowar Elves off the table was too appealing at the time. So if we hit another land, then we've got 2-drop, 3-drop. So I think I'll just go for... Sad to say. They get to play Tachiova next turn, and there's currently not much I can do about that. I think I'll just go with Aurelia. Just play mana efficient. Hope that there's a land on top. And then we can maybe do a bit of this. This could actually close the game out. But we need the right kind of mana for it. So +2/+0 and trample first strike here with the Rada. Here's Tachiova, and a land drop to follow. Indeed. Do I want to play against a deck that I will absolutely hate, or a deck that should be very effective against yours? Is the answer neither option adequate? Doesn't sound appealing either way, if I'm being honest. Why would he do that? I guess actually makes some amount of sense because of the Ziggurat. Then we play Tajik, last of the guild pack to give everything +1/+1. And then I think we pump up the Tajik here because it gets vigilance and trample, which is kind of nice. And it also mentors as well. So Tajik mentors Aurelia. This is going quite well so far, I'd say. The other option is a deck that combines a bit of both. Does it do a bit of both, but not so much of either or that I don't hate playing it? That would be ideal. Because I think it's safe to say that I'm not in the mood to not enjoy myself. Do you get to gamble on this stream? Oh my god, River's Rebuke. I hate it so much. If there's a moderator nearby, absolutely. Gamble away at that point. Alright, so they're at 11. I'd love to make a push that kills them. Is that even possible? So if I went Bard class, I could then level Bard class. That then gets me Rada. Hi. Oh, I love this card. Hopefully I get to use it in a meaningful way. Nobody tell him, chat. Nobody tell him. Well, Pretzel Rocks. When Pretzel Rocks gets back to you, let me know. 3 cards. That's 4 total with the Cultivate. That Rebuke might just turn the corner for them here, especially if they can locate their Field of the Dead. Druid class. This is just gain life whenever land enters at the moment. Although they can activate it now, but they drop their Llanowar Elves down. Cimeras is busy not turning up to streams, apparently. Alright. Up to 15. It doesn't feel lost just yet, which is great. Minsc is 1 mana, by the way. That's just glorious. 1 mana Minsc. Make a hamster that is a 2/2. Oh baby. Play Tajik, who's a 4/3. And then get swinging. Maybe? Chat? Is there something here? What's going on? So currently 8's going through. How long am I going to be streaming for? Well, I've gone for an hour. I imagine I would still go for 2 more. We'll have to see on that, though. Ember Daddy. Sit on Tajik, I think. Seems fine. So they lose their Tatiova, and they go to 1. Okay. My board is lethal. I unfortunately don't get to hold up my silver bullet. But I think we should be okay. If they get a board state that allows them to stay alive, we could maybe play this that gets us there. This is also pretty effective on this board state right now as well. And we can use Minsc to turn Tajik into a base power 4/4, which is technically an upgrade. Eureka moment. This certainly could be 0. I've just never really had a good reason to need a mod. It's one of those things. Like, the only thing that I have in terms of a bad chat is the occasional bot that asks me if I want to be famous, and let's be clear, I do really want to be famous, so I don't know why I'd get rid of them. They just give me so many options. Just think of the opportunities that are afforded to me by the bots. I could click on any of them and have 1,000 viewers in no time for just $19.99 a month. Alright. We're at 9. We should be clear to just win this game, right? Between Aurelia and Glass, I'm sure that's probably enough. Put that on Tajik. Put this on Rada, so that she trades with Uro. I think that might do it. How do I know that you're not a bot? You haven't offered to make me famous. That's usually a big giveaway in this chat. There we go. That was pretty sweet, though. I like that. Bard class coming in clutch as well, to give me just enough to close it on him. Removal tribal, eh, Nagsaw? Removal tribal. We'll see how this goes. This is extremely bad, right? Yeah. That's what it looks like to me. Hello. This is awkward, but other than that, we have Goodest Boy to lead with. And any untapped land is probably extremely useful. Thalia. It's probably our best creature in this matchup. So Naxar's playing Kaya the Inexonerable. 5 mana, 5 loyalty. Oh god. Options. So I could play Minsc. Or I could play one of my 2-drops and then play my tap land, which is probably going to be a tap land forever. I like that, actually, because then it allows me to do this, which might have some good effect in the long term. We'll go aggro. We've actually drawn our best cards in the matchup, and I love it. So no 4-mana board wipes at the moment. I've never done this, so I'll need to get my bearings. Well, as I say with most of my mods, you don't really need to do your job, except for when you do. So there's really not a great deal of pressure in this channel to do any kind of modding, because you usually don't have to. Alright, so let's tax them on my turn a little bit. Heartless at the Thalia. That gets them back into board wipe territory. But I think I'll still go for the Magda here. It's not a huge loss, because I kind of just lose anyway. Yeah. Let's go with Rada. Try and get the lands off the top. I knew it. Yeah, I mean, this is a bad matchup from the very beginning. We had our best start and it wasn't good enough. So we're drawing a bad card. Let's play Minsc, I suppose. You're a giant now, my son. Go forth and multiply. Discard a card. Goodbye, dead card. Inexilable. I call it inexonerable, but there's no N in it. Inexorable, I guess, is the correct pronunciation of that one. Either way, I'm sure this is just a Kaya come down minus, and then if Kaya dies, they just get it back anyway. They get to steal one of my creatures, which is probably going to be like Rada. So yeah, this is just horrendous matchup. Short and sweet. We got a mountain, let's just get plains. I don't think it matters, but should mean that all of our untapped lands are fine now. Great. Solid top deck. This is 5 mana. Rip. I'll hit you to 9. I'll play it out. I think it's over, but I'll play it out. I guess there's a chance that these 5 cards aren't removal, and then I stand a chance of winning. No, it was Man, Born on the Night. It was very bad. Hence the reason why it is no longer that. Massacre Worm, yep, solid. Solid. Would probably normally sweep my entire board if we were ahead at this point as well.
Weird, right?
Double Stripe? Sure, I'll take a turn of not doing anything for that. Nope, there it goes. Whee! Alright, 9 damage. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say that there is absolutely nothing I can draw, so after we draw the land, I will scoop. Mirror, yep. Yeah, that's a 2-drop. Alright, cool. Actually hard countered with every single card. You weren't wrong. That wasn't fun. I want to say my odds are much better in this one either. Y'all really are bringing the hate today. Good lord. Alright, we are going to keep this one though. It's fine. This is kind of... It's a good 6-card hand. That's all I'm saying. I'll save that for now. We'll just go with Isimaru. And pass. Vantage. Well, we're not able to play Anax, we're not able to play Minsc. If I'd have gone with Ziggurat turn 1, I guess I would have been able to do that, so it's a bit of a sequencing error in hindsight. Did it work? Who will win? I believe it did. Yeah. I will note, if you exclusively bet against me, I don't believe you get anything. So somebody has to bet that I will win. So somebody has to hit the bullet here. Let's play Mox Amber. Anax. Send it for 2. I couldn't play Anax with Mox Amber because this only produced white. It only produces the colour of the legendary that's already in play, so I could only use this to do white mana. Now it's a Boros tap land, basically. This is cool. Yeah, it's not a 5-color Mox. So right now you can see it's going to produce red, but afterwards it'll only produce white. So I have to figure out whether or not I want to use this, and... yeah. This is effectively the way you should use it if you can enable it reasonably enough, take a land out and put this in place. That's kind of how you should look at it. It's a land drop that you can do additionally, which is cute. So you see, now it only produces white, but Minsc will make it produce all the colors of my deck. There you go. Do that and send it. We're not off to a bad start. I just think that we're going to get swept in a minute. Yeah. That'll do it. I'll just helix them. Well, that's one sweeper out the way. There aren't too many more. That's pretty nice. So I think I'll just play Minsc again. Get my 1/1. Send it, please. What happens if we lose? Do we lose all our books, or does nothing happen? So if everybody but one person bets against me... rude. If everybody but one person bets against me, then the person who... the singular person, if they win, they get an insane amount of points back. It's basically like... the percentage that you get back off of your investment is based off of how unlikely the rest of chat thought it would be. So if you really went against everybody else's prediction, then you would be in a really good spot. So I guess they're thinking about playing the Professor Onyx here. The minus would put it to 2. But it would kill my Minsc, putting it back into the command zone, making it pretty much unplayable, though, at that point, I think. Draugr Necromancer. It's a pretty good one. We fortunately have the answer to that, though. And we get to get in for a little bit. Just a little bit. I could have actually pumped Galia there by 1 point. Hopefully that will come back to bite me. But it was certainly an option. There's the other board wipe. There's only one left, I think. Extinction event. Yeah, back to the command zone, please. Wow, that is an expensive hamster. Right on time, eh? Right on time. Yeah, I mean, we can't play, so... oh, and Crux of Fate, you're right. There's also, like, Crippling Fear as well. I don't know if I expect them to be playing that. Well. Jig is up. They know. Bolt you. No! Would actually be a reasonable way for me to win the game. Alright, well, we got that, so we can play Minsc now and make a 1/1. That is basically all that is, because now Liliana comes down, minuses, and kills Minsc. So now I somehow have to find 7 points of damage through a Draugr Necromancer. Well, that's the thing. Send it. Angriest hamster of all time. Wielding an extremely large blade. There we go. There's Palladium Mia. And now we draw 2 cards a turn for the rest of the game. Although, actually, it being at 6, they're going to need a little bit of life gain, otherwise they can't do it for very long.
Never thought I'd miss the library.
Draws a card, mills some more. My son! You're actually, a really good pickup, I think. Threatening lethal. It's been a while since we've won with a squee. Let's see if we can do it. Elspeth's Nightmare, sure. Kills Liliana to kill Squee.
Sorry, you don't make the grade.
Yep, and so now I... Oh, well, we'll figure it out in a minute. For now, Squee. I guess we could just play Clothis here. That puts them on a clock. They're going to need to gain life now. So now Liliana has to minus to kill Squee.
It was going to die eventually.
Just as Squee intended. Alright, guess I'll just eat creatures. Squee. Domri. Enables Clothis. Swing for 5. Bam, could you pay out all the believers, please? Could you... Could you pay out the believers? Thank you very much. That was nice. It was really Squee that carried that, I think. The fact that you had to minus and just constantly deal with a creature that's recurring forever. That's the upside of Squee. When you can get in a format where that line is really nice, that's when you're in a good position. Unfortunately, well, in Historic you've got things like Jeskai Control. I don't know if you do anymore, I haven't seen it in a while. Barely played any Historic, to be honest. Where Teferi minuses are very annoying. Congrats to all the 0 believers. Dang it. Oh yeah, forgot Bam's my #1 believer and he's not allowed to bet as long as he's a moderator. It's a bit weird that that's the case, but... yeah, there were no believers. Well... screw you guys. Alright, Max, you're up next. Alright, ooh, Magda. 3,700 points. I actually don't know what happened to them points. Did you get refunded? It should probably tell you if you won anything. I feel like if everyone bet against me, they should lose all of the money, to be honest, but that's just me. I will say, as sweet as this deck is, its opening hand has always been awkward. I can't take this, right? Like, this is castable, but then the rest of my hand isn't, so... ugh. Hey! Oh, actually, hey, I didn't see you there, Squee. Alright, in you come. It's my boy. My man. Isamaru. Let's go. One new event. Let's have a look at this. Is Mirror Match in this deck? Not in this one, but Awood, you'll be pleased to know it is in one of my decks tonight. I'll say no more on the matter. Magda is down. Repeat, Magda is down. And shall remain down. Goodbye, Magda. Yeah, we will be moving on to said deck with Mirror Match in it soon. Oh! Hi, Lannery. Funny I should see you here. This is kind of super awkward. I could hit for 6, or I could kill Lannery. For it to really matter, they'd have to go, like, Magda 1-drop. I can't really Lannery off of anything in my way. I think it's just max damage. Yep. How would you estimate this deck's chances against counters? If you're using 3-mana counters against 3-mana cards, it's probably a fair trade for me, but I eventually run out of value, don't I? So, probably still not great. Depends on how many counters you're talking about, I guess. Alright, so... Tajik is down. Which is a shame, because Tajik was keeping our creatures safe from burn spells. Best way to beat me is to use the same deck. Not wrong. Named Dwarf. Yeah. Sorcery speed, that's super awkward. Let me just go Rada and we see if there's land on top. I think the sooner you get this down, the better. No land, okay. Hit you for 3. Yeah, I mean, like, this deck's probably not tier by any stretch of the imagination, but... hang on. X is the number of vehicles you control, plus the number of equipments. Ah, that would be X equals 0. I think Max might have done it under the assumption that it also counted dwarves, maybe, because Mimic is now a dwarf. Or maybe artifacts. I don't know. We'll see. If I block this, they would be able to pump, so I'm not going to do that. That's an option. And we'll just go Lannery. I'm sure there's a way that that could have tapped that would allow me 2 options, but so be it. Okay, so if they played Magda, Lannery Storm creates a treasure, Mimic creates a treasure, that's 4, they need 5 to get something good. It's probably still just worth killing. Kill Lannery Storm, I guess. Could always have, like, bolts and shocks in response. They do not. Alright. Is Two-Headed Giant ever coming to MTGA? Never say never is what the arena devs always say. But I'll go ahead and I'll say never for you. I think there's no chance. I mean, just look at how cramped the screen is right now. That should say, I think, all it needs to say. Alright. So, protection there means that's fine. Then we get to go you. You wouldn't run board wipes, would you? Our opponent wouldn't run board wipes. That doesn't sound right to me. They do actually have protection from them now, I believe. Protection from red, so sweepers would do it. But not gonna happen this time. Unfortunately, there is no line here that allows me to win with Squee. But I can make my Immortal Sun just that little bit larger. X2, my son. He's a 2-2 now. There we go. Have you ever seen a 2-2 Squee before? I'll go ahead and say, no, you haven't.